Audie Murphy's life reads like an American epic shaped by hardship, courage, and complexity. From grinding poverty in rural Texas to becoming the most decorated U.S. soldier of the Second World War, his rise was nothing short of extraordinary. Yet behind the medals, movie roles, and public admiration was a man quietly burdened by trauma, responsibility, and expectation. His post-war life unfolded in Hollywood, where he sought normalcy through work, family, and creativity. Even decades after his death, questions and speculation continue to surround his final moments, reflecting how deeply his story resonates. Audie Murphy remains both a symbol of heroism and a reminder that even the strongest figures carry unseen weight. Childhood shaped by poverty and loss. Audie Leon Murphy's early life was marked by hardship that would shape him forever. Growing up in a struggling sharecropping family during the Great Depression meant hunger, instability, and constant uncertainty were part of daily life. With many siblings to help care for, Audie learned responsibility for earlier than most children. The abandonment by his father left an emotional void, but it was the death of his mother when he was still a teenager that truly altered his path. Suddenly orphaned, Audie was forced to grow up overnight. With little formal education and few prospects, he left school and worked wherever he could to help keep his family together. These experiences forged a quiet toughness in him. He did not become bitter or cruel, but deeply serious and self-contained. Those who later met him often sensed that he carried the weight of survival with him. His humility came not from modesty alone, but from knowing firsthand how fragile stability can be and how quickly childhood can disappear. Determination to serve against all odds when war came. Audie Murphy saw military service not as glory, but as duty. Despite repeated rejections due to his small size and slight build, he refused to give up. Each rejection only strengthened his resolve. Eventually accepted into the Army, he committed himself fully to the role, approaching training and combat with focus and discipline. What he lacked in physical stature, he made up for in determination, sharp instincts, and fearlessness under pressure. Fellow soldiers quickly noticed his reliability. Murphy did not seek attention or praise, he acted when others needed him. His leadership emerged naturally, grounded in example rather than command. Time and again, he placed himself in danger to protect his unit, driven by loyalty rather than bravado. His courage was quiet but relentless. This determination defined him throughout the war, unmatched bravery on the battlefield. Audie Murphy's combat record became legendary because of actions that seemed almost impossible. Serving across multiple European campaigns, he consistently demonstrated extraordinary bravery in situations where survival was far from guaranteed. One battle in France would define his place in history when he held off advancing enemy forces despite being wounded and heavily outnumbered. His actions that day earned the Medal of Honor while he was still barely out of his teens. Yet Murphy never embraced the image of heroism others placed upon him. He rarely spoke proudly of his awards, instead focusing on the friends he lost along the way. To him, survival carried guilt as much as honor. The medals he received represented not triumph, but sacrifice. He believed the real heroes were those who never came home. This perspective stayed with him for the rest of his life, shaping his humility and emotional restraint. His bravery was unquestionable, but it came at a cost he carried silently. Returning home with invisible wounds, coming home should have been a relief. But for Audie Murphy, it marked the beginning of a different battle. Though celebrated as a hero, he struggled deeply with the psychological effects of war. Nightmares, insomnia, and emotional volatility plagued him, at a time when such symptoms were poorly understood and rarely discussed. Instead of hiding his pain, Murphy chose honesty. He spoke openly about what he was experiencing, helping bring early awareness to what is now recognized as post-traumatic stress disorder. This openness took courage in an era when vulnerability was often dismissed as weakness. Still, the trauma affected his relationships and sense of peace. He lived between two worlds, public admiration and private turmoil. Those close to him saw a man trying to reconcile who he had been in combat with who he was expected to be at home. His story highlighted that heroism does not end when the war does, and neither do its scars. A surprising second act in Hollywood. Murphy's move into acting was unexpected, yet it gave him structure and purpose during uncertain years. Hollywood provided routine and a way to channel his experiences without speaking directly about them. He appeared in numerous films, particularly westerns, and war stories, often portraying restrained, morally grounded characters. His most notable role came when he portrayed himself in a film based on his wartime memoir. While the movie was successful, the process was emotionally exhausting. Reliving moments he rarely discussed forced him to confront memories he had tried to compartmentalize. Murphy never considered himself a gifted actor, but audiences responded to his sincerity. He didn't perform heroism, he embodied it quietly. His acting lacked theatrical excess, instead reflecting lived experience. Creativity beyond acting. Audie Murphy's creative life extended beyond film, revealing a softer, more introspective side. Songwriting became a quiet outlet where he could express emotions he struggled to articulate openly. He co-wrote several country and western songs that were recorded by prominent artists, reflecting themes of longing, loss, and reflection. These songs revealed sensitivity that contrasted sharply with his public image as a hardened war hero. Murphy also appeared in television productions and military-focused programming, maintaining a close connection to service members and veterans. His involvement was sincere, rooted in loyalty rather than performance. He believed strongly in honoring service without glorifying violence. Through these projects, he helped educate the public while remaining true to his values. Creativity gave Murphy balance. It offered moments of calm and purpose in a life shaped by extremes. These quieter contributions often went unnoticed, but they were essential to his emotional survival. Personal relationships and the search for stability. Murphy's personal life reflected the inner conflict he carried. His first marriage, highly public and emotionally intense, struggled under the combined weight of trauma, fame, and unmet expectations. It ended quickly, leaving him searching for stability. His second marriage offered greater grounding and resulted in 2 sons who became central to his sense of purpose. Fatherhood mattered deeply to him, even when he doubted himself. Family life provided moments of normalcy, though his emotional scars never fully faded. Those close to him described a man who was loyal, protective, and deeply private. He could be restless and short-tempered, but also tender and deeply caring. Murphy often felt torn between the man he wanted to be and the man shaped by war. Despite these struggles, his commitment to his family remained constant. They represented safety and meaning in a life that had known too much instability. Speculation, questions, and public fascination. As years passed, speculation emerged, questioning the circumstances of Murphy's death. Gaps in records and evolving investigative tools fueled curiosity, while his legendary status invited myth-making. Some independent researchers proposed alternative explanations, though none were supported by conclusive evidence. These theories remained controversial and often conflicted with documented findings. Historians consistently emphasize the importance of separating verified facts from conjecture, particularly when dealing with iconic figures. Murphy's family has firmly rejected claims of foul play, maintaining that the crash was a tragic accident. The persistence of speculation says as much about public psychology as it does about Murphy himself. Society often struggles to accept that extraordinary lives can end in ordinary tragedy. A legacy rooted in humanity. Audie Murphy's legacy endures not because of myth, but because of humanity. He was a man shaped by hardship, tested by war, and forever changed by survival. His courage on the battlefield was matched by his honesty about trauma, long before such conversations were accepted. He never sought to glorify violence or himself. Instead, he carried humility, guilt, and responsibility throughout his life. As a soldier, actor, father, and advocate, he embodied the complex reality of heroism. His story reminds us that strength often coexists with pain, and that vulnerability does not diminish courage. Honoring Audie Murphy means acknowledging both his achievements and his struggles. In doing so, his life continues to resonate, offering insight, empathy, and a deeper understanding of what it truly means to endure.